What's going on, Sparkies? So today we're doing a restroom remodel, and part of that is adding a plug in this closet, and we're going to be using an existing circuit. Used to feed a spa. They put the spa, no longer going back with that. They're just doing a standard bathtub. At the beginning of the video, there was a switch on the wall that the wires are pulled out. That used to be a timer switch. That way the spa wouldn't run for more than 30 minutes. We pulled that out and disconnected the wires. And what we're going to do is basically tie that together at the end of the video to make it constant powered so we don't have to worry about this outlet in the closet going bad. So, or turning on. So what I'm doing now is just getting them a hole cut, which is where the new outlet's going to go. I tried to center it in that space. Generally, that's what I try to do. Get everything centered up. Just looks more uniform and clean. And once I get this hole cut, I'll kind of probe around with my hand in there to see if I can reach the old wire. Again, that was at the beginning of the clip, and I won't really show that again. You saw there, I usually start in the middle, work my way up, and then work my way down. Just helps keep the sheetrock from ripping out and gives you a cleaner cut. Like I said, I'm kind of probing around in there, but I couldn't feel the wire. It was a little bit too high and out of reach. And so I have to figure out a way how to feed this long bit of wire back into the wall. You can see that's where it goes through the stud there. So normally what I do in these situations is I push the wire back through that hole and then just reach in on the other side and pull it out. But for some reason, it just was not budging at all. It didn't want to move. So I decided to drill a new hole. So two things there. One, there is a hole just below with the copper pipe going through, but you never want to combine electrical and plumbing in the same hole like that. So I had to drill my own. Two, that little Milwaukee 12 volt is not designed to drill through double studs. I should have got my 18 volt, but 12 volts what I had on hand, so I just used that. And instead of being a single stud, that was actually a double stud. So it took a little bit more effort to get all the way through that piece of wood. But you can see as soon as I pushed it through, it was about the same height as that hole I cut, and it fished through pretty easy. So I pulled out most of the slack I could by hand, and now I just got to clean it up on this side. So it'll look a little goofy. It'll come into that stud bay and then right back out through a hole just below on the bottom, but that's the only way I could see it working without having to cut more holes in the wall. I'd rather just have this one opening. You can see there, plenty of slack. Worked out pretty good, even though I had to go in and out. So what I'll do here is get the wire cut down because I don't need 26,000 feet of extra wire on it. Just need about a foot. So I'll cut that, and then the box I have is actually a nail-on box, and that's not what I need. I need a remodel box, so I run to the truck real quick and grab that. The remodel box has a couple tabs on it, and as you tighten it up, it'll cinch itself tight to the sheetrock. So that's what I'll be using. And you can see I pushed the wires in the wall real quick just to verify the hole was big enough for the box, and it was. Then you just gotta push the wire in through the back. These are just basically friction fit on the wire where it grips it. So you don't want to use a screwdriver and press it and bend it all out the way because then it's not biting that wire. So I typically just use my thumb, give it a gentle press, just enough to break the seal, and then shove the wire in. You can screw these in by hand, but it's best to do it by drill just because if you don't keep consistent torque on that screw, the tab could fall down and then you won't bite the sheetrock at all. So using a drill prevents that. And typically I'm not a real big drill guy. I prefer doing everything by hand, but on remodel boxes I definitely do prefer doing that with a drill. And no, there was not a glitch in the matrix. I actually had to get up and go get my tool bag. So there was a little cut there. And now it's just skinning the wire back all the way to the box. You want to leave about a quarter of an inch inside the box. So I'll use a razor blade or a utility knife and cut it all the way back, cut through the paper and plastic, and then it's just making up a plug as normal. So nothing too crazy here. There I'm putting in my little hooks on the wire. I typically pinch the end with the very tip of my strippers and then give it a little turn. There are holes on the side of the stripper where you can do that, but I've never really been into that. I've always preferred just to grab the tip with either my clines or with my strippers and give it a little turn. It works just the same. I don't do a close up or anything, but there's always two screws on the sides of these receptacles. And so what I'll do is I'll tighten both the top and bottom screw regardless of whether there's a wire on it or not. And I typically don't do the back stabs on the outlets. I just don't prefer that wiring method. This is probably one of the parts where a lot of people struggle is getting the wire organized. So what I'll do is I'll fold it like an accordion, then shove it in the wall. And you see that I pushed it in all the way before I even screwed it. That way it's not gonna get pushed off to the side of the wires fighting me. So I usually make sure the plug is straight before I run the screws in, and then I'll screw it down. All there's left to do is just test the outlet, make sure it's working correctly. So, as a side note, this is within 6 foot of a bathroom sink, and so new code says that any outlet that's within 6 foot of a sink has to be GFCI protected. So, after I make this up, there is a GFI directly below this junction box now, and that is a GFI. So it goes GFI up to this switch that I'm working on now. I assume it goes up into the attic and around the door and then back down. And then I intercepted it and then put it in the closet. So everything's kind of in series already. So as soon as I get this made up, I'll get my plug tester, plug it in, reset the GFI, and then test it just to make sure everything is on that GFI. Because again, it's within 6 foot of that sink. So new code is going to require that it be GFCI protected. And there you have it. That's it. Thanks for watching.